Hello and welcome, my name's James Harrington and today we're previewing Matchday 25 in La Liga. If you're new to the channel, why not hit that subscribe button, that notification bell and give the video a thumbs up if you do enjoy it. Well, let's get into it. So let's look at the La Liga table after Matchday 24. Atletico's defeat and Real Madrid's victory sees the gap at the top between first and second close to 3 points. Barca's draw to Cadiz sees them drop to 4th and Sevilla climb up to 3rd. Granada slipped to 9th after their home defeat to Huesca and Levante moved to 8th after winning away at Atletico. Valencia move up to 12th and get some breathing space on the relegation zone after their home win versus Celta Vigo. Elche moved to 18th with their win under new but familiar management for fellow strugglers Eibar. So let's quickly recap the match on Matchday 24. Well, we have to talk about Atlético Madrid versus Levante. Now in my Champions League preview of Atletico versus Chelsea, I talked about this game from an Atletico perspective. So you haven't seen that video, do go check it out. But from a Levante perspective, well, Jose Luis Morales, the captain, the leader, the guy who got the first goal for Levante, what an important figure he is for the Valencian side. Paco Lopez, the manager, who I believe got his first win versus Atletico Madrid as manager of Levante. Do correct me if I'm wrong. And then finally, Cardenas, the 23-year-old standing goalkeeper between the sticks, did a fine display, saving 11 shots on target, and that does the youngster a world of good. Levante really can do it against the big teams, having just beaten Real Madrid 2-1. And then there's Cadiz, mighty Cadiz. They got a draw against Barcelona with 18% possession, getting a 1-1 draw. Remember, this is the side, the newly promoted side, that beat Barcelona earlier in the campaign 2-1 with 17% possession. They are unapologetically defensive, compact, and they do the business. Barca had hoped to win this game to close the gap on Atletico Madrid after they dropped points versus Levante. And after the game, Koeman said this result hurt more than the thrashing midweek to PSG in the Champions League. Other big results were Valencia, Elche, and Huesca getting wins, but more on that later. So let's talk about Matchday 25 and what a match day is. Some cracking games. On Saturday, you've got Eibar versus Huesca, Sevilla versus Barcelona. On Sunday, Villarreal versus Atlético Madrid. And if that isn't enough, on Monday to top it all off, Real Madrid versus Real Sociedad. But let's start with Eibar versus Huesca. Eibar, on Matchday 24, travelled away to Elche, fellow relegation strugglers who were under new management Fran Escriba, his second stint in charge of the club, and he had an immediate impact, got them 1-0 victory against Eibar. Their last time Elche won, was it Matchday 7? It was a 16-game winless streak. That's way back when in October, so it was a huge result for them. And then you've got Huesca, who on Matchday 24 got a win against Granada 3-2. Bear in mind, Granada are chasing that Europa League spot, but it was such a deserved victory for Huesca. With 60% ball possession, 18 shots altogether, the Pacheta effect continues with his second win in charge. But what does that do to the relegation fight? So let's bring back that league table and let's look at the standings at the moment. Now bear in mind, this preview was recorded before Barcelona took on Elche in the midweek Matchday 1 rearranged game, and it really is a relegation fight from Getafe downwards. Now I've included Getafe because if I was Bordelas, I would be worried. 4 straight defeats and no goals in 5 doesn't bode well for them. But let's go from the bottom. Huesca. Since Pacheta's arrived, he's got 2 wins, giving them a fighting chance. Then you've got Valladolid, who lost to Madrid, but a case could be made that they could have got a draw if they were more clinical. Elche. As I said, first win in a long time, new manager and 2 games in hand, best chance to stay up. You've then got Eibar, draw to Valladolid and defeat to relegation rivals Osasuna, and Elche not exactly helping their cause to stay up. Mendilibar must be worried. Finally, Alaves. Arbeloa has had 1 win since coming in as manager, and they've recently been thumped 4-0 by Real Sociedad last weekend and had a 5-1 drubbing at the hands to Barca. So as you can see, what's happening at the bottom of the table at the moment is so interesting. But what does that mean for my predictions of Eibar versus Huesca? Well, even though Huesca won away recently to Valladolid, I think this result is going to replicate the scoreline earlier in the season, and it's going to be 1-1 Eibar v Huesca. Now the next game, and it is a juicy one, Sevilla versus Barcelona, third versus fourth. Now these two sides play each other twice in the space of 5 days, this being the first time in La Liga, and the second game being the second leg of the semi-final of the Copa del Rey. When these two sides met earlier in the season, it was a 1-1 draw, Luke de Jong getting the opener for Sevilla and Philippe Coutinho getting the equaliser. But let's just focus in on Sevilla. Now they put in a really good performance against Osasuna. A 2-0 victory where Lopetegui said his side was dominant in all aspects of the game. That gave them their 6th straight La Liga victory and their 10th win out of 11 games in all competitions, with the only blemish being that midweek defeat to Borussia Dortmund in the Champions League. Sevilla and Barcelona played each other recently in the first leg of the Copa del Rey semi-final, where Sevilla won 2-0, thanks to Koundé opening goal and Rakitic getting the winner. Unfortunately, that was the day when Umtiti did not have a good day at the office, and he was at fault for both the Sevilla goals. At home this season, Sevilla have been really good, getting 25 out of their 48 points at home. This points tally after 23 games is only been bettered once before, and that was 1 point in their 2016-2017 season. Look, Barcelona know how great at the back and in goal that Sevilla are at the moment, with Bono against Osasuna setting a club record for number of minutes without conceding a goal at 528 minutes. Koundé and Diego Carlos are rocks in the back line for Sevilla, and it's going to be a really tall order for Barcelona and Messi to get the chance they need to get the victory. So let's talk about their opponents, Barcelona, who are playing tonight, in fact, versus Elche. So this preview has been recorded before the outcome of that game is known. But as I said earlier, Barcelona drew to Cadiz in the last match, 1-1. Effectively, Cadiz played with 9 defenders and really did frustrate Barcelona's attack. But that being said, they did have 20 shots, 4 on target. They were just so wasteful. And prior to the Elche game, Koeman did say that a side like Barcelona need to be more effective with their shot conversion. Hopefully Ron Araujo might be fit for this game. He was such an important figure for their backline before he went out injured. And I'm tipping this to be a goal fest actually, because Barcelona have the most goals for this season out of any La Liga side with 50. That's why my prediction is going to be 2-2 Sevilla versus Barcelona. It'll be interesting to see how this result affects the second leg of the semi-final of the Copa del Rey the few days afterwards. So the next game to talk about on Matchday 25 has to be on Sunday, Villarreal versus Atlético Madrid. Now let's start with Villarreal. They go from having a super impressive performance midweek in the Europa League versus Red Bull Salzburg, where they won 2-0, to then go and draw their 13th draw of the season against Athletic Club. Thankfully, Gerard Moreno got the goal for Villarreal. What an important player he is. But after he got the opening goal, where they were winning 1-0, obviously, they went super conservative and Athletic Club got the equaliser. I mean, this is just such a different side to one who won 4-0 in January against Celta Vigo away from home. Now they're playing Atletico Madrid, who I talked about in my Champions League preview. Go and check that out if you haven't seen it already. Who I talked about earlier when they lost to Levante, their second defeat of the campaign, their first defeat at home since 2019. In the 6 points available in the 2 fixtures against Levante, they'd have hoped they'd have ended up within just more than just 1 point. And so what this has meant is their gap on Real Madrid has reduced from 10 points down to 3. No longer can we say the La Liga title is all theirs. And I think with that, they're going to be super motivated for this game, super ferocious. The result between these two sides finished a 0-0 earlier in the season, and the Ceramica had been a fortress, but now that fortress has been broken with a recent defeat to Real Betis. So I think Atletico Madrid are going to get a victory in this match. I'm going to go with 2-1 Atletico Madrid versus Villarreal. So the next game to talk about that caps off all of the Match 25 fixtures, Real Madrid versus Real Sociedad. Now I talked about Real Madrid in my Champions League preview. Yes, I am shamelessly plugging one of my other videos, so please do go check that out. and it must be said that this preview has been recorded before the Atalanta game, so I don't know what the outcome of that result is going to be and how that's going to affect Real Madrid going into this weekend fixtures. Now, in that Champions League preview video, we talked about the frailties of the squad, the fact that it's been ravaged by injuries, with only 12 fit senior players, and one of them being Isco, who clearly doesn't really feature in Zinedine Zidane's plans. That means they're having to rely upon the likes of Mariano, who is the young Brazilian forward who really hasn't got much game time at the Bernabeu, and Hugo Duro, who's been promoted from the youth ranks of the Real Madrid side. Before this game against Atalanta, Zinedine Zidane has said he will not risk his injured players, so probably Benzema won't feature tonight, but does that mean he might feature in the week against Real Sociedad? Who knows? Now the opponents, Real Sociedad, who are coming off the back of a 4-0 victory versus Alaves, and the main guy to be talking about is Alex Isak. He got a hat-trick in this game against Alaves, and it was his 6th straight La Liga game where he scored. The 21-year-old Swede is in impressive form at the moment, and it's been rumoured that he's actually a transfer target for Barcelona. It seemed like Real Sociedad bounced back from their 4-0 thrashing in the Europa League to Manchester United, and unfortunately for Real Sociedad, they've got to play the second leg of that this week, so that may affect their confidence going into the game against Real Madrid. But what will do Real Sociedad a world of good is the return of David Silva, not just for his creativity but for his leadership and his experience. It has been rumoured that defensive pairing Arostundu and Zaldua will not be fit for the game against Manchester United, but possibly fit for the game against Real Madrid. Who knows? Earlier in the season this result was a 0-0, but that was when Real Sociedad was sitting pretty at the top of the La Liga table. And whilst their away record is better than their home record, I do think this will be a Real Madrid victory. I'm going with 1-0 Real Madrid. Well, that's it for my Matchday 25 previews. Thank you very much for watching. If you did enjoy the video, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, and give it a thumbs up. All those good things. Also, comment below your predictions. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.